Welcome to the podcast Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook, where we will discuss the latest and most relevant business strategies to help you do one thing extremely well: sell more homes. We'll discuss everything from business planning to lead generation and conversion to past client customer service and everything in between. Join us for authentic conversations and nuts and bolts takeaways you can implement into your business today. And now, Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It is another episode of Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook. As always, back from 4th of July, some summer stuff going on. We got Kelly Cook with us today. Kelly, how was some of your time off? I don't know if it was off if you were working, but we haven't seen each other in a couple of weeks. How has kind of your little summer break been going?
It's been going good. And I came up with something brilliant today when I was talking to someone else about their vacation. And the person was saying, I feel so recharged. Actually, I went somewhere for like 4 days. But man, I came back and I was recharged. And oddly enough, it was an agent on my team that is really good at routine, right? Because a lot of people are not. He was really good at routine. And he comes in, he has the same kind of routine, unless obviously something takes him away from that. That's very important. And it's interesting because I started thinking to myself, and I said it to the whole team, I said, guys, the reason why he feels so much more recharged has a significant correlation to your vacation that you take to. So in other words, what's correlated is how much you feel recharged based on how much routine you have. If you're individual who is your own boss, can kind of do what you want to do to an extent, and you float around through life, you float through your career day by day, week by week, without a set, boring, old, stupid, repetitive routine, because who likes that, right? But not realizing that's the secret to success. And if you do that, every day is kind of like a vacation. So now when you go on vacation, outside of the scenery changing, you're still having the same old wake up when I want to, do what I want to. No one's looking on my shoulder. And so you really don't really get recharged that much because you're not busting it. You're not grinding it anyways when you are working.
Right.
And that's why I think it's so important when we talk about business planning, which we'll be, in a few months here, but taking that time to schedule time off and do it hopefully to where it's not all sandwiched into the same time of the year, but throughout the year. So that way you always have something to look forward to, where you'll have some rest and relaxation, but also too, you will be recharged. You will. And it's crazy because when you do get recharged by that last day of the vacation, you almost kind of have that itch, right? Okay, now I'm ready to get back into the flow of things. And it almost is somewhat comforting, even though it's the boring, repetitious, routine that no one wants to ever do. And then of course, with that, that's what leads to success. That's the magic pill, that consistency. And so you should be doing it anyways. But if you do that and then throw in a little, it's a great match.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the balance. And you have to have, the routine is great. And you, like you said, that is what makes success, is routine, doing the same thing every day, going toward your goals. But then having that little break in there to kind of let loose, that's necessary, or else you can get burnt out from your routine. Yep. Right. And it kind of breaks up the monotony. So fantastic. Well, good. I'm glad that, are you feeling recharged then?
I'm feeling recharged. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
No, I really do. I really am. And I do. And I come back and I'm ready to get after it again. It's nice. No matter how much, no matter how hard you work, it's nice to have that little downtime. Everyone needs a little bit of a break.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, today, now that we're jumping back into our routine, right? We kind of had that little break. Now we're jumping back into our routine, getting you guys some content. Today, we're going to talk about what makes a successful real estate team. This is something that, if you want to learn more about the basics of building it, I'm just going to call it out now, not wait till the end. Go over to buildyourrealestateteam.com, and Kelly has kind of laid out, the steps to take to begin building your team. But if you are, currently have a team, or you are taking those steps and building it, we want to kind of lay out the blueprint for what makes that team successful, right? Now that you have a team, what can you do to make sure that you're making money, your team's making money, you guys are hitting your goals, and you're, becoming better at your craft every day. So Kelly, Let's get into it. What is the
Yeah.
blueprint for a successful team?
Oh, okay. So let's be clear. There's a few ways this can go. There's no question about it. There's no one set way, but there are some critical ingredients when you bake that cake that you need to have when creating a successful real estate team, in my opinion, at least. And a couple of those things are meeting rhythm, consistency with practicing. You have to practice. So let's just break it down like this. What we always say is, number one, you have to have a value proposition if someone is going to join your team. Otherwise, why would they join? So our value proposition for anyone out there looking to join a good real estate team, and good meaning it's subjective, of course, but it's not really that subjective, because do you close deals? Do you help clients out? Do you have good reviews or not? And
the numbers and the data to back it up.
Yeah, the data backs it up, and we happen to have that because we try very hard at it. It doesn't come just by happenstance. So we always say that someone would join our real estate team for these 5 reasons. And this is our value proposition. This is our elevator pitch to anyone who's interested in doing that. Number one, and in this order, culture. Culture is very hard to define, but it is a real thing, and we work hard at it. There are internal meetings, there are internal events that we do just with our team, that we all get a chance to know each other and get to know each other at a deeper level outside of just the office or working. Okay, number one, culture, that matters. What's your turnover rate like? Things of that nature. Number two, it is coaching, training, and mentoring. That's extremely important. For obvious reasons, everyone needs to have somebody to lean on, and talent loves accountability. That's a quote or a slogan I'll never forget. Talent loves accountability. So if you are a talent and you do want to actually succeed, I don't care how much you're paid, I don't care what your role is, you want accountability. That's number two. And of course, coaching to know how to do certain things. Number three, systems. Is it true that you would follow up in a different manner from somebody who's looking to buy a house right now and is hot to trot and really wants to get into a certain neighborhood from somebody who has a child, or I should say a teenager, graduating high school in 2 years, and they're not moving for at least 2 years? Yes. The answer is yes.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the rhythm's different. How you follow up, what you say, the channel in which you communicate with them all matters. So how do you do that at scale? Because if you just choose one person and you try to follow up with them and nurture them, you probably going to go broke because there's not enough money there with one person to help, right? You have to help multiple people over time. And so you have to be able to do it at scale. There's systems for that. How you correctly set up an open house, how you correctly conduct the open house. What do you do after the open house? Just to name 3 systems right there. There's all kinds of systems for different things that you need to have. Number 4, that is support. So the reason why support is so huge is it's transaction coordination, marketing coordination, operational coordination, and all that support. You want someone to do the back office for you because A, your client will have a much better experience that you're supporting, and B, you now have the ability to help other people on the job that is you are supposed to be doing, which is sales and client care. So that being said, you need that support. Now, we harp on number 4 a lot because number 4 allows the agent who is just that to go out and do 5 things really well, and only 5 things really is what they should be focusing on. Number 1, those 5 things are number 1 is role playing and script practice. Number 2, lead generation. Number 3, lead follow-up. Number 4, conduct appointments. Number 5, negotiate contracts and do a great job at that. And then 6 is just simply repeat those 5 things. So
okay, I was going to say, you only said 5.
I know, I shouldn't say number 6, but number 6 is just repeat. So it's not really count,
yeah.
right? Yeah. But the reality is, number 1, I'm not going to harp on all these too long, but number 1, practice and script pull. That's the one that everyone just kind of brushes off, right? Okay, yeah, whatever. Let's get to number 2. Now, what do we do for lead generation? Client acquisition. Okay, but hold on. Last time I checked, the best football players in the world are in the NFL. The best basketball players in the world, in the universe, are in the NBA, and so on and so forth for all the sports, okay? Now, between games, what do those players do?
I think they practice.
They practice. The best in the world, they practice. And by the way, they're probably all getting paid a lot more than we are. To the tune of, the best players in the NBA are making like $50 million a year.
Yeah.
A year. Yeah. And yet when ABC pans over to the game that's, 3 hours away still, What do they show the basketball player in his sweats doing? Shot, catching, shot, catching, shot, catching, shot, catch, shot. And then, I mean, that person probably takes, especially the great ones, I don't know, 300 shots before the game even starts, maybe 500 shots, Steph Curry, before the game even starts. And that's just a warm up. That's not a practice on a Thursday. That's a warm up on Saturday afternoon before the game, Saturday evening.
And they only work games only a certain percentage of the year. The entire rest of that year, they're getting paid, and they're, to be good when those few months come, they've got to be good. So they have to practice to get better and to stay good, right?
And because in real estate, we are paid proportionally for the words that come out of our mouth. And anyone really in sales is, because you're using your mouth as opposed to your basketball form on your shot or your arm as a quarterback in football. Because of that, we should be doing the exact same thing. But yet for some reason, the professional salesperson doesn't take that as serious. And what's odd is these professional athletes, they might get their first contract, and it could be small or big, doesn't matter, but they are really playing in many cases for their second contract. And if they perform well on the big stage for 3 years, 4 years, whatever it may be, then that second contract comes along. The difference in what they can make compared to what they could not make if they just, are lazy, don't practice, etc., many millions of dollars, many. So we're talking about lifetime generational wealth, changing the family tree, right? Financially for that particular athlete and his family. So, or her family. So in that situation, I just don't understand why people don't, but yet that is something that we strive on. So what we do to work with that and to create a framework so that agents can practice and get better at their craft to help their clients and themselves out is that we have a call on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. It's at 8:45 a.m. for 15 minutes. It is a role play script practice on a specific topic. One person is the agent, one person is the client or the lead, and then everyone else gets to listen on mute and then give their opinion when it's done. And the great thing is then we can record that, which we do, and we store it in a cloud-based drive, our drive system, so that we have an ongoing library of people, of objection handlers that people can listen to over and over again, and advice that people give on how something could be better. So it is a great way to do it. Now, also, when it comes to lead rotation, every day we check it. This is how we do our system, right? Every day we check it. And so someone on our staff checks it, and there's a certain couple of different things you have to have done in order to continue to be eligible to receive leads that next 24 hours. If they're not done, then that's fine. You're just off until the next 24 hours, get them cleaned up in your database, and then you'll be on, no problem. But one of those things is outstanding or past due reminders or task.
Yep.
A task like, call your client and tell them you appreciate them.
Are those built into your CRM?
CRM. It's a part of the system aspect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or, why don't you text that client that's looking for houses right now and give them the deal of the week, in your opinion, which takes some time. You got to go through the MLS, and you got to go through the good portals. You got to try to find on-off market properties. Yeah, exactly. That's value. Those things. Well, if you're behind on those things, then we simply don't give them any more opportunities from a standpoint of anyone that might be looking to buy a house that's new, i.e. a lead. And we do that not to as a way of discipline, not as a way of finger wagging, none of that at all. There's no judgment in any of that. It's just simply that, hey, you must be too busy. You're being a little bit, no problem. You have a lot of opportunity where it currently stands. So get that all cleaned up. And then when you're ready, boom, we'll turn it back on, and you'll have a chance to get potentially new clients, new people to work with. And so that's the framework we have when it comes to the system of practicing, of having some sort of a way for people to get better at their craft. And I think it's so important. Now, going back to number 5 on that elevator pitch, right? I went down on a rabbit hole on the 5 things agents should be doing. Yep. Number 5 on the value prop of why you joined this team.
Yeah.
That's simply leads and data. Leads and data. We don't believe that data, people that never opted in or want to be called back or contacted, they never put the information in and hit submit, they should not be in your CRM.
Right.
They should not be in your database.
Not permission-based.
That permission-based, 100%. If they're just a data list of people that maybe are looking to, sell their house by owner, that stays somewhere else, and we house that in a dialing system that's cloud-based. That doesn't mean that agent has to use a dialing system. They can use their cell phone and just simply hand dial. But that's where it's stored.
It's stored differently. Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone has access. So that's the difference there. And so we have leads coming in on a daily basis. We have data that's updated on a weekly basis by staff so that the agents can simply be efficient on getting and finding new people and more people to help. So that's our system. Now we have a lot more that goes with what the rhythm is. Like, for example, we have trainings on a weekly basis over a specific topic that we cover. We have team meetings on a weekly basis as well. So there's a lot that the agents can tap into to basically hone their skills, become better and better, and hopefully have, the business, the database that really supports the lifestyle they want. Because that's the whole idea of going into business for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Giving them the tools and the support and letting them get after it, right? And put as much into it as they get, as much out of it as they want to put into it, essentially.
Right. But yet, Elizabeth, so why is it then that some agents on our team, and I guarantee the same way on every team out there, make more than others when they're given the same opportunities, the same playbook, the same systems? Why is that? That comes down to personal motivation.
Personal responsibility.
Yep. Extreme ownership. That's it. And so the ones that have that boring old routine that we talked about and get rejuvenated when they actually take a vacation because they are on a routine,
dedicated to a routine.
Those are the ones that always will end up making the most. Absolutely.
Fantastic. So one question for you before we wrap this up. We talked a lot about the blueprints of kind of the systems you need to have in place as a team leader, a team owner, right? Like the things that you should be providing for your agents. If for some of our listeners who are, on a team currently, maybe looking for other opportunities or want to voice their opinions to their team leaders, out of all of those things, what would you say is kind of the number one thing? Obviously, it takes, the whole framework to build it up to be successful. But what would you say is the number one thing somebody should look at when choosing a team? Obviously, it all comes down to personal, what their goals are and things like that. But do you think it's the practice? Do you think it's the support staff of, handling the closings? Do you think it's the practicing, the training and, mentoring? What would you say is that one most important key aspect that somebody really needs to take a look at when choosing a team?
Yeah, I think it starts with training and coaching. I do because there's going to be days, no matter how dedicated you are, no matter how much personal motivation you have, no matter how deep your why is, that you just don't want to get up and do what is necessary to be done to reach your goal. There is. And someone, I should say more so, has to be there, not 24/7, but there to know that you have to answer to, because if you answer to them, you're not going to like the answer, and they're paid in most cases to do that. They're paid in most cases. So I think coaching and training, and then of course, there's a lot of people who are very, very motivated, but they have no idea what to do or say. And so I really believe that paying for somebody to that, or if you don't have the money, there's people out there that are in the same boat you're in, and they don't know what they need to be doing, but they're motivated. And so just like you, why not pair up together? There's no cost to that. If you find someone who's equally motivated and from that standpoint have that same burning desire to succeed, then that will work out just fine too. Because it's like going to the gym, right? When you have to go to the gym at 6 a.m. and there's someone there, like a buddy of yours, that's going to meet you there, you don't want to let them down. You don't want to shoot that text at like 5:30 and say, "Oh man, I ain't gonna make it today." No, sir.
You don't want to let them down, and it's also I don't want to say embarrassing, but sort of like, I'm sleeping in today, right? You don't want to say that. You don't want to admit that. So it definitely helps to have that accountability, right? Whether it's from a mentor, somebody, above you, like looking over your shoulder, kind of a boss or something like that, or just a peer, but can also help, keep you grounded and keep you going on your routine.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think number two, just really quick, number two would be the back office, right? It'd be the support. Because it's like the first hire, right? The first hire you need to do is some sort of administrative support, because you are the best salesperson that's gonna work for you. And so you need to maximize your time as much as possible by doing the income producing activities. And so you have to have somebody to help you if you want to grow. Now, if you just want to do X amount of deals every year for the next 20 years, then that's fine. that's fine too. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to grow, then you're going to have someone help you support all the activities. There's a lot of them to stay compliant with a real estate file for that state's Department of Real Estate, just as one example, and the broker file, the whole 9 yards. So, yeah.
So accountability and leverage, kind of the two biggest things there.
That's it.
Well, fantastic, Kelly. Well, if anybody has any questions for you, wants to talk about this, wants to learn more about your blueprint, where can they reach you?
Yeah, absolutely. You can hit me up on social media at Kelly Cook Homes on Instagram, or shoot me a call, send me a text. Some of you guys have taken advantage of that, which I always enjoy. And the ones that text I really like because I always get back to you faster. That's 480-227-2028.
Fantastic. And I already pitched this at the beginning, but I'll do it again. Go to www.buildyourrealestateteam.com and get kind of the module there. We went into the blueprint today, but that's how you would get it started, how you would kind of get a team off the ground, right? And like Kelly said, the first thing is to get that support person, an admin, somebody to help you run all of those paperwork, back office type of things so that you can go out and lead generate, recruit agents, do all of those other activities to build that team. Yep. We will see you guys all in a couple of weeks here. It is summer, so the episodes have been a little bit more scattered as we're all out. And I know you guys are out doing stuff too, hopefully taking your breaks so that you can be recharged. Summer's coming to an end, so we'll be more regular here shortly. Thanks, you guys. Bye, Kelly.
Absolutely. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Welcome to the podcast Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook, where we will discuss the latest and most relevant business strategies to help you do one thing extremely well: sell more homes. We'll discuss everything from business planning to lead generation and conversion to past client customer service and everything in between. Join us for authentic conversations and nuts and bolts takeaways you can implement into your business today. And now, Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook.